Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about XRP as well as XLM. The reason why I'm talking about these two in the same video is because a lot of people look at them in a competitive light, but I completely look at them in a completely different light. Now, within the market right now, everything is pretty much a little bit, shaky. Things look fairly weak. Of course, we are pretty much looking for Bitcoin to test 53K. I really want to see us get down there. It's a difference of $3,000. Not that bad of a dip down. We are seeing Bitcoin dominance actually kind of fall a little bit more, scraping the surface at about 42%, which is fairly good for us. And of course, in terms of XRP and XLM, both doing pretty similar moves. They're kind of just ranging on with the entire market. Nothing's really kind of breaking out on the 24-hour. There's a few altcoins that are green. I've mentioned this multiple times today, but for the most part, things are just kind of looking like this, where essentially they are all red. But I do think that in terms of the market, we need this sentiment to actually liquidate a few individuals. I know it sucks to say, but we're going to essentially be talking about that in this video as well, and why this is so crucial to us, and why this current price action really is nothing to really kind of be concerned about overall. So with that being said, before we fully jump into this video, I just want to ask you guys if you guys could please leave a like on this video. I will greatly appreciate it. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and turning notifications on. Now, if you guys do want to get the Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack, which includes a ton of my exit strategies, my personal trading indicators and all that kind of stuff, you guys are more than welcome to right now. There is a sale going on. It's a limited time sale. It ends this Friday, 20% off or $20 off essentially. And I will be doing a Black Friday sale this weekend, 50% off for 2 days only. So definitely be aware of that. Now, within the market structure, everybody is freaking out. Everybody is panicking. Everybody's saying we're going down to 40K. We're going down to 20K. This is it. It's the end. Blah, blah, blah. And here I am just sitting, pretty much bullish, calm, just waiting for this week to start, because we haven't even seen the beginning of what is to come. And I understand that we are up significantly. Bitcoin ran from 3K all the way up to 69K, and we've seen, major moves across the board for a lot of altcoins, but there's still a lot of alts that have not made their topping points. There's still a lot of, sentiment in the market where it is telling us that we are still going to have a bullish, bull market that could possibly bleed into Q1 and Q2 of 2022 if we have a little bit of a lengthened cycle, which I know a lot of people are kind of confused about, but I've discussed this multiple times on this channel. But in terms of what we are seeing, and shout out to Kevin Svensson, I'm hoping that I said his name right, but in 2017, the DXY, or the dollar, stock market, and Bitcoin all went up together from September to November. Then the dollar dipped end of year. Since Bitcoin formed the 30K bottom, the dollar has been pumping. If we get a reversal in the dollar soon, then we may see a massive move up, just like November to December 2017. And here you guys essentially see that on the chart here. This is essentially where Bitcoin pretty much made its major moves in 2017, Bitcoin being the green one here. And of course, we had that nice structure here where pretty much everything kind of dipped all at once. But then, of course, Bitcoin reversed essentially with the S&P 500 and pretty much made its new highs. Now, of course, in terms of what we are seeing right now, we are seeing the dollar and the S&P 500 kind of just rallying together, almost touching exact. And we do see Bitcoin kind of just trailing downward, and we did see it trail downward as well back here, but they of course followed through with this with a little bit of a spike here, nothing too crazy. But I think that we are going to essentially see that major turn of events very soon. I think that when we're talking about the lengthening cycle, I think that it is a possibility, especially if Bitcoin does kind of range here to build a floor and then pretty much go to 75K plus. I know a lot of people have been saying 100K for Bitcoin plus. If we do get there, that will pretty much lead us into Q2 of 2022, possibly with a lot of altcoins pretty much ranging around that time as well. Now, we also see here the biggest moves come after everyone has been liquidated. And this is the truth. This has always been the truth. In terms of Bitcoin, right, we've seen the liquidations happen back in May and June, okay? Now, in terms of this, okay, we had that nice liquidation event going all the way back here, where we pretty much made that high up at like 64K. We had that dropping point. We retested it. All of a sudden, boom, liquidations happened. We bottomed out all the way at like almost 30K exact. And then all of a sudden, boom, we made new all-time highs. Okay, that's going to happen yet again. We will make new all-time highs for Bitcoin. It's going to play out the same way it's always been. I think that essentially if we don't have our topping point in December for Bitcoin, we will have our topping point in possibly January to even February for Bitcoin, where a lot of our altcoins will pretty much range into either April or May. So we have to watch for that very closely, because it could lead us into a quarter two stretch where a lot of us pretty much could sell in quarter two of 2022 and not pay taxes for a whole year, which will be the best thing possible for us. Now we also see here, I mentioned this the other day, okay, where it was right in front of our faces, XRP and XLM. And I've always discussed these two very closely in terms of them not being as competitive as most people actually look at it. And I don't have to read too much into this. If you guys do want to check this out, I have another video on this. But essentially, this confirms XRP and XLM will both be utilized in terms of what they're pretty much focused on. For an example, XRP is business, B2B banks and stuff like that with financial institutions. XLM, more so retail, you and me, pretty much given that financial inclusion. Now we also see here 6.1 million XLM, okay, or I should say 6.1 million asset holders with 24.3 billion circulating supply is the current structure right now as of the current date, right? So this is actually fairly bullish because we have been seeing the number of asset holders growing astronomically, especially in 2021. And why do you think that that is? All right. I'm going to be discussing to you guys a few charts, especially with XRP and XLM's chart. Obviously, right now things look fairly, kind of boring. We're going to be talking about that, and I'm going to be talking to you guys where we could essentially see these at the end of the bull run. For example, a lot of people are saying XLM is at support against Ethereum. Last time it was here, Stellar moved up 1,448%. And here is essentially is that chart. This is the XLM Ethereum chart. This is pretty much comparing what we are seeing. Here's November 2017 to November of 2018, 1,448%. So in terms of this, are we looking for the same pattern to play out? It's possible, but this is also, I just want you guys to understand the 2022 May point here. This could essentially be our ending point. Now, with XLM, okay, and also, just so you guys know, this date here, this November of 2018, by this point, we were already kind of in a bear market for XLM. It's just still those exponential gains. But we also see here, all we need is for XRP to breach $2 to get the party going. And I've discussed this. In fact, I've always said that once we break this point up here, it's clear skies to the all-time high. Now, both of these assets look fairly similar. Okay, we have the high and we have the, trailing sideways momentum. Again, same for, XLM, pretty much that, little all-time high, or I shouldn't even say all-time high. It's the high up there. So this is the high, and we're just trailing along, pretty much just kind of grinding sideways. It's the same for both of these assets because they move very closely together. And also, just so you guys know, this essentially is the $2 range for XLM. This 42.5 centile range, that's what we want to break out of. Now, these two have been in consolidation for a fairly long time before hitting their all-time highs. They are also printing a massive cup and handle on both charts. Let's actually get a different, let's go to, I think Coinbase actually has more price data. Yeah, so they do. Okay, so here we go. In terms of what we were looking at for XLM, we're looking for that nice major impulse that we had again back in November of 2017. And as you guys do see, we're not seeing that impulse. In fact, we're not even seeing that impulse being close to repetitive from November. But I will say this, okay, in terms of what we're focused on right now, isn't so much breaking out here. We do see from the May point to that range. Okay, this was a difference, and we'll go from the red candle in May to the point where it finally broke out. It was 182 days. Okay, and here is the red candle in May, currently at 189 days. Okay, and back here it was roughly, I think it was like 2,000%, I want to say. I know it was like something, so off of the bottom of this candle to the top, yeah, it was like 2,384% of a run up. I'm not saying that we're going to repeat that same percentage. I'm just saying that we're in a longer consolidation at this point, which is going to play fair into the lengthening cycle where we could essentially, even consolidate longer, possibly even into like, the first half of December, which this would essentially be December 20th, but we could have that longer range where it would essentially be December 13th. Here it is, where it's 210 days of consolidation before the next major breaking point. It all relies on Bitcoin, of course. But these two move very closely together. That's why when we're talking about XRP breaking out to $2, which essentially these two will break out, we just have to wait until that actually gets validated on the chart. But these move very closely together. In fact, I could just go and throw XRP on the chart here and show you guys that. So here are those gains that essentially we have been making. The high for XRP was about the April 26th point. Here is May 10th. April 26th was around this point here where we pretty much started to break out and catch up to XRP, which we usually trail behind. Of course, the percentage gains are a little bit different here because of the difference in price. Of course, XRP valued at more. But again, going back to 2017 and 2018, look at the topping point for XLM. Okay, it was the week of January 1st, which was January 6th, essentially the topping point for both of these assets. And look at XRP, right? These move extremely close together. That's why I say, why hold one when you could hold both when they are both going to make you a ton of money? And they will repeat that same pattern. We just have to play it out perfectly. And I know that waiting sucks. Trust me, I get it. These are laggard assets. XRP and XLM are both laggard assets. But these will also give you guys some incredible gains. Essentially, when we're looking at the charts, they're not bearish at all. In fact, their structure is fairly bullish. It's just on the micro levels, like on the 1 day, on the hours, right? It looks fairly bearish. But on a zoomed out scale, and let's go to Bitstamp because it has better price data here. But on a zoomed out scale, things look fairly good. In fact, we're in a massive cup and handle formation where essentially we know where this leads to. Once things stabilize, right, we always go back to this tweet here where the biggest moves come after everybody has been liquidated. The same goes for XLM and XRP. I see it all the time in my comments on YouTube where everybody's like, dude, XRP is going nowhere. XLM is going nowhere. It's so boring. I'm just going to sell and put it into Solana, into this asset, into that asset. And I see that so many times over and over again, and it makes me more and more convinced that XRP and XLM are going to shock people this bull run, because that's the same narrative that played out in 2017 when XRP was lagging behind everything else while everything was pretty much making these new highs. Here's XRP just kind of lagging along, and this is on the weekly basis, so that you guys know, this was not like a couple days or anything like that. This was, pretty much 196 days of just sideways trading, where 196 days might not be a lot to most people, but in finance, in stocks, in crypto, I should say, just not stocks, because stocks, a lot of people just kind of wait forever, but in crypto itself, 196 days is a fairly long time, especially when you're comparing it to most assets. Like, if we're going to Solana, okay, let's just go to the USD chart, or actually let's go to Binance because there's more price data. So here is us kind of consolidating throughout that May span. And a lot of assets still have not recovered fully from this point, by the way. But from that drop in May, it only took us 63 days to get back on track and make new all-time highs. Okay, and some altcoins, and there's a few out there, like even one, like Harmony 1, here, 1 second, again, is still in that nice consolidation point where we are making new highs, but again, in terms of our dropping point, that actually started in March. May was just the icing on the cake. So, overall, when we're talking about this took roughly 161 days. You could say that this took 154 days. Every asset is different in the terms of how long they consolidate. XRP is no different. This was 196 days of consolidation from May to the breaking point. 196 days, just so you guys know. And here we go from our current structure. It is 189, with 196 bringing us to about the end of November. So we actually haven't had the 196 days play out just yet. On XLM, we have. On XLM, we've actually been, pretty much just waiting for the next major breaking point, because on the weekly, again, let's go back to Coinbase. So, like I said, on the weekly, this is going off of the May lows to pretty much where we have eventually broken out. It was 182 days, and like I said, in terms of where we are currently, we are pretty much there, right? We're actually overdue. We're actually at 189 days. But XRP and XLM will move close again. So when XRP breaks out, expect XLM to follow through. It might not follow through by the same percentage fractals, but these are going to move very close together once they do start that major parabolic run, which I suspect is very close. We just need Bitcoin to essentially bottom out, which I think and I suspect 53K is going to be essentially our bottom point, which a lot of people also agree with me. Of course, I think that we'll see it this week with a range in December, possibly where we do see possibly 70K plus for Bitcoin. But with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys don't want free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.